Two of you? How many of you can say it? You want to say it for me real loud? You. No, I mean the young man right there. The one looking back. Yes. You want to say it for us? Say it real loud.
Yes.
John 3:16. God so loved the world that he gave something to us. He gave us his son so that we would not perish but have everlasting life. This poem comes from a place where I say it and then I say a phrase that I was a con artist convicted by the Holy Spirit, and I was an unshackled prisoner, now free to be bound by that same love that's in John 3:16. Do you know what a con artist is? Children. Who knows what a con artist is? A con artist, let me give you a real quick definition from this perspective. A con artist is a person who wants something and will trick you in any way to get it. Now, I don't mean trying to get your car or something like that, but as kids, let's say you want a toy. And so what you're going to do, you'll find a way to get that out of your parents. You'll find a way to, I'm going to clean my room, I'm going to be nice this week just so I can get something out of mom and dad. That's a con artist. So when you hear me saying this, think about the things that you're doing in your lives where you may be trying to trick people to get something from them. But you don't need to trick God to get his love from you. To get his love to you. He's already given it to you. So think about that as I'm reading this. Loosed by love, relentless love from above. Does God love me? A militant midget in comparison to God's military tactics for loving me. A con artist, convicted by the Holy Spirit, unshackled prisoner, now free to be bound by relentless love from above. An unshackled prisoner, now free to be bound by a love that requires no sacrifice on my part. A love that requires no formality for reception. A love that requires no words from my lips. A love that requires no deeds of my hands. A love that requires no steps from my feet. A con artist, convicted by the Holy Spirit, an unshackled prisoner, now free to be bound by relentless love from above. A son asked me, why does God love everyone? I said, because he can't help it. God is love.
Right.
He loves you when you are lying to his face. He loves you when you abuse his mercy and grace. He loves you when you are praying kneeling by your bed. He loves you when you're smoking weed. He loves you when you're doing deeds done dirt cheap. He loves you when you're popping pills for cheap thrills. He loves you when you're riding on doves and spree willows.
Oh.
He loves you when you're praising him for who he is. He loved you for when your baby Christian grape becomes just a raisin in the sun, burnt by society and peer pressure. You are still sweet in his eyes. He loves you when you're the Lion King. He loves you when you're like Shrek. He loves you when you are Princess Fiona. And he loves you when you're Cinderella. He loves you, his love will transform you like the Transformers. It's more than meets the eye.
My God.
He loves you when you are high and lofty, fat with unsubstantiated pride. He loves you when you're humble and low. He loves you when you're an obedient child. He loves you when you're a selfish saint. He loves you when saint you ain't. He loves you when you're greedy. He loves you when you feed the needy. He loves you when you are the molester. And he loves you when you are the molested. He loves you when you're filthy rich. He loves you when you put the P.O. in hope. He loves you when you're gang banging, and he loves you when you're in church singing. He can't help it. God is love. Will God love me? He loves you with your nappy hair, with your curly hair, with your straight hair.
Go ahead,
He loves
sister.
you with your blonde hair, your green eyes, or bald-headed. He loves you when you're Buddha believing, confused or Confucius. He loves you when you are Aryan nation, Islamic nation, European nation, Indian nation, Spanish nation, Asian nation, United Nations, because we are a part of God's rhythm nation.
All right.
We spit rhymes about peace, prose, prosperity, and piety, but God's love is perfect. We spitting rhymes about protest, polygamous relationships, with pride and prejudice, spit just flying everywhere, just wetting the mic. The greatest poet I ever knew was God. I opened my eyes in the morning to his rhythm and poetry. The greatest rapper of all time. I feel his pulsating percussion in my heart. It goes ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. The robins and the blue jays and sparrows are the background singers. The warmth of the sun beaming through my bedroom blinds reminds me to close my eyes and see the beauty within, the skin painted with his melanin. He pounds my eardrums with his still small voice. The wind in the trees whispers rhymes in my ears, tickling my spirit with scriptures. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. Greater love hath no man than this. A man lay down his life for a friend. My son died so you could see me, be with me, feel me in you. You are the head, not the tail. You are above and not beneath. Obedience, my daughter, is better than sacrifice. So get off the altar. Get off the altar. Get off the altar. Because my relentless love from above was for that con artist who is convicted by my Holy Spirit, an unshackled prisoner, now free to be bound by John 3:16.
Yeah.
Amen.